Who started? Hey.
I know y'all missed us. We are back. I've gotten like tons of texts and tons of messages online from folks like, what happened to the Still Dope crew? We miss you. And I'm like,
y'all got busy. That's what happened.
And I've told people, I'm like, life has been lifing, and
Adulting.
we have been I said, I told everybody, I said, I didn't, obviously not spilling our tea, but I'm like, we've had some things happen in our life, end of year, beginning of year, and we got to take care of that. But we'll be back.
We all were in London together. We haven't taped them. The three of us were in London together for my mother's birthday. That was fun. Shahid and I had a couple days looking at museums and eating fucking, I don't know why I'm not, shepherd's pie and stuff.
Sticky toffee pudding for me.
Sticky toffee, yeah, exactly.
I'm still looking for some here. There's one place that has it. One place that I know of.
Then I showed up and ended up at this barbecue Americanized type of bar and grill place in Covent Garden, and I showed up right as they opened at noon, and happy hour was live and well, and I sat there for like 5 or 6 hours and got tore up from the floor up, listening to 1970s disco and 80s R&B and 90s R&B, and had a great time. And I met a great couple. Can't believe I can't remember their names, and I should have taken their names, but oh well.
It's been great. I unfortunately will not be really participating in this conversation. I will be listening. I will have my listening ears on because y'all about to throw down on Married at First Sight. Well, I don't even know what city they're in.
This is Chicago, season 18.
Okay.
And basically we are at the point in terms of being current. They're about to do the couch. Do you want to stay married or not?
Is that next week?
Yeah.
That's next week.
Okay. All right. So break it down.
A lot of stuff is going on.
From the beginning, because you got to recap everybody else too.
Well, here's the funniest part of it. Last year we were like, I think all three of us were in agreement. We're like, we're so sick and tired of Married at First Sight. We ain't never gonna talk. We don't ever have to talk about this again. Then this season, I was like, I kept hearing like the previews and what was going to happen and what was going to become of it. And I was like, give it a try. Little did I know that this was going to be the best. For me, it is literally the best. Married season
I powered through.
Like ever. When it comes to the drama and the messiness, I'm over the fact that
there's different types of messiness too. There's different types.
Right.
There's different types of messiness.
I'm over the whole romanticizing of these shows now, where it's like I'm expecting that there's going to be a lot of like couples whatever. I'm over it. But now I'm like, I'm just gonna see who's gonna the fuckery of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this season just took it to a whole new level of.
And I was like, okay. T's like, oh, you need to watch. I was like, okay. So I had the flu last week, and I powered through 16 episodes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. It got good. So now I'm current. It's really good.
So let's fill the people.
The black couple.
So we've got there are 5 couples. We've got Carla and Juan, Madison and Alan, MM and Akechi. I'm sorry. We'll get on that. We've got Michelle and David, and we've got Camille and Thomas, which we're not even going to talk about Camille and Thomas because
we'll just start off with Camille and Thomas because they're a black couple.
Yeah, that's true.
And she is a ex-basketball player. She's used to dating dark brothers. she's from the
Oh, I
hood.
know which one you're talking about. She has the curly
He's like,
hair.
I like brothers. He is a twin, a very docile, nice, really nice guy from the suburbs, no edge whatsoever, just a really nice guy. And their early issues were basically, she was like, I need you to kind of be like,
To thug up a
he has
little.
no flavor, to have some flavor. She got him some earrings. I think he, he got him some gold and
I
some
like
ice.
that.
Yeah, I know. So he's a really, really nice guy, faithful, nice. She kind of needs that. They're a nice couple together. They respect each other. They appreciate each other. I
Yeah.
think she needed someone just to be nice to her, so she ain't dating these, that wasn't working for her before.
Yeah.
And he was in a 9-year relationship, and then it just kind of stopped, I guess. He's a little older. He's like 41. She's like 30.
There's a 10-year difference. He's 42. She's 32.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're
So
really
you can't
nicely
tell.
matched together, and they're definitely going to say yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the best couples we've seen in the last couple of years. Of like, to see them work through their minor differences of cultural differences, and she appreciates him, and he loves her. He's a stand-up guy. He's not going to cheat on her. He's
I think that they're going to work because of him, because of the age difference. He's 40. He's a 42-year-old man. He's got his career. He wants to have a family. He wants to have children. So the clock
he's ready
is for him.
He's very ready.
So he's ready, and he's not gonna fuck that up. And he's made it very clear to her. He was honest with her, like, yeah, I was in this 9-year relationship, and he owned it. He's like, I just one day was like, man, I'm not feeling this anymore, and he just ended it. And he also said that he also was he cheated on a former spouse, or the person relationship. In one of his relationships, he cheated. So he owned up to that. I think he's over that. I think if he was the same age as her, or maybe a year or two older than her, the way that she is, I think what she brings to the table, she kind of like gets a little rah-rah with him sometimes, or she has. And him being who he is and the age that he is, he's just like, yeah, I'm not worrying about that shit no more. It is what it is. I think this is why them two are going to be successful.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, it's going to be because they're going to get into their own heads and try to, he's going to be like, am I really going to be ready for this? Or she's going to get in her head and be like, he was she can't get over the fact that he was in a 9-year relationship, and it didn't end, it didn't end in an engagement or a marriage or something. She can't get over that. So she's either going to get in her head about that and is not going to let that go, and is going to be like, well, I can't do this. Or
But they're gonna make it.
they're good.
They're
I'm
good.
hoping that they make it, because these two are like my what's
Amani
our
and
couple from New Orleans?
Amani and what's his name?
And Woody. Amani and Woody.
Woody.
These two are like Amani and Woody for me. Like, I can see them like taking this.
They respect each other. They like each other.
Yeah.
Their families are good with each other. They were looking for things different, like things that, they're looking for stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for stuff in the relationship of like, it's not going to work, then, but they're going to work out. So we don't even need to even talk about them anymore, because they're good.
Okay.
And they go to bed early together.
Let's get to
they go to bed early. They've been having sex. It's all, they're an old ass couple, basically.
Okay.
They're wearing matching pajamas.
Yeah,
Shahidah.
I mean it's.
I mean, like they're like wearing matching pajamas, and she keeps teasing him with the I got my lingerie, and he's like, ooh, he's all excited. She has yet to break out the lingerie yet. Now he's like, this latest episode, he's like, I'm starting to think you're just stringing me along with this lingerie, like, and she's like, well, maybe I'll break it out, the night of our, when we decision day, like the evening of decision day. And I was just like, I like these two. Like they're like some
they're
old
good.
middle-aged couple.
They're good. So that's them. They're gonna say yes.
Okay.
Carla and Juanes.
Juancho.
He's a good look. Juancho. He's a good looking guy. She's a nice girl. They are not going to work because, first of all, he's not even affectionate with her. He's not trying to, because she is so flighty.
Is that the guy with the jeggings?
No. This is a good looking guy from Colombia. Tall, square jaw from Colombia. Really good looking guy. He's a wafy little Latina girl who doesn't plan anything. Who don't plan anything, who quit her job. She's a hairstylist who quit her job. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? And he's like, it's one thing to be bold, but not to be stupid. He don't respect her business acumen.
I did keep them.
She's just really kind of like, whatever goes with the flow. I want to have a yoga studio and this, that, and the other. And she has no plans of how are you going. He's like, well, how are you going to get there? And she's like, well, he's not into her.
No,
he's not into her because she's too flighty. She's too flighty.
I don't know if at first I thought it was because he didn't like the fact that she was all over the place. Where as far as, she quit her. She was just like, I can't even think the word, but she was just like really like quick to be like, I'm just gonna quit. I just quit my job
today. He's
I
like,
quit job today with no.
This is during the marriage, like this just recently.
Yeah. So she quit her job. She was a hairstylist and she quit her job, which I don't think she quit. I think she got fired.
Probably.
Because she ended up saying that it was a mutually beneficially decision. And I'm like, girl, you got fired.
Right.
Fired for being a hairdresser. What the hell was she not doing?
Because she had a chair in a salon over there, over saging. Like she's into she likes the Tibetan bowls. Like she's like
sound bass,
and she likes the sage and gems and all that.
If it's gonna happen, it's just gonna happen. I don't plan things. Things are just, it'll just work out the way it's supposed to work out.
And she always talks. I don't know about you guys, but for me, whenever she talks, I'm like, she's either high, like she always talks like she's on something, and I'm just like, she is either smoking some hella good weed or she's eating some hella good edibles, because she's always just like,
yeah.
But
and she likes affection, and he is not affectionate with her at all, because I don't think he wants to lead her on, because he's not really
attracted to her. I think that she's a pretty girl, but from the neck down, I mean, no shade to Carla, and to each their own. I'm not trying to body shame a person, but at the end of the day, from the neck down, Carla looks like a 15-year-old teenage boy. And I think for him, he's looking at her like, even though she'll wear some like cute little outfits that can be classified as sexy, to me it's not sexy, because I'm like, there's nothing there. I mean, like, she's cute from the neck up, but like it's from the neck down, she's got no boobs. She's like this. Like I said, she looks like a 15-year-old teenage boy or teenage girl. And I think for him, he's just that. It's just not doing it for him. He's just like, no. Mm-mm.
And she needs someone who's going to be all over her. I think she's used to having, people, and he's just like, and he's an entrepreneur. Like, he's always working and trying to do stuff, and business, with a good business acumen.
Better than she is, because he's an entrepreneur trying to get his business up, but he's got his hand in multiple things. So He's
making money.
Yeah, but
She
how
ain't making
much?
any money.
I mean, but that is
He's
true.
trying to have a
I
plan
will
of
say,
like, I'm running a business. I know what to do. When he, broke down what he did, he's like, I do this. My partner does this. We work together on that. They have a warehouse they
yeah.
work out of. So he's actually working and doing stuff, even though he's, an entrepreneur trying to figure out what's going to, make him the most money. But he's a hustler. He's a little hustler.
I'll give him that. He's bringing money to the table because he had his own apartment, whereas she didn't have an apartment.
Where was she living?
She had a storage unit that do you remember, you've watched these episodes when they were going after they got married and they were going before they moved in to each other, the communal apartment, they went to each other's apartments and she went to his. I mean, and although he lived like a bachelor, which as he should, but when it came time to go to see her place, she's like, well, I'm in between
Yeah, I'm gonna
places,
store it.
and I
We went to
have
the storage unit
we
and
went to
visited the
to go
storage
get her
unit.
stuff. She had all of her stuff either in her car or was in the storage unit, and I was like, oh wow, we're doing this again. Remember old girl?
That was what I say. Didn't that happen before?
That happened before with the season of Amelia and Bennett. I think it was New Orleans, right? When that crazy nurse girl was married to that dude,
Yep,
and
it was.
she didn't have no place to stay. She had everything in her car, and we were like, wait a
So
minute.
Carla has no savings whatsoever.
Oh, none.
She ain't got no savings. She ain't got no
Just got
plan.
tired.
He's just like kind of, and he does not want to be having someone dependent on her, dependent on him.
That's somebody you just met.
Right.
Come on, no.
So
And I think I think he's gonna say no. But if he had said yes, she would say yes.
Yeah.
But I think she's gonna say no too, just because,
But they'll probably ask her first.
I think she's gonna say no, though. To be honest with you,
she's not getting any affection. She's like, I want affection. I want,
and I think
she can feel that he's not into her.
And I think after this whole debauchery that just went down, she's like, you know what? Bad juju. I'm out. I'm gonna just take my little self back to my little U-Haul storage bin and live very good.
Yeah, they ain't gonna make it. So let's talk about the other black couple, MM and Ikechi and Ike. It's messy. First of all,
I've seen 2 episodes of them, so I did have a very strong feeling. But I was talking with my coworker today, and she said, so I want to get your feelings on this.
You tell us what your initial thoughts after what you've seen so far.
Okay, my initial thoughts were he didn't like her. And he wasn't trying to, like, I only seen 2 episodes, and it was 12 and 13, and they didn't show them a lot in those 2 episodes. So my friend Cynthia was saying he's disgusted by her. He won't look at her. He, dismisses her, won't acknowledge her. And at first I was like, disgusted? That's a little, but then I thought on the couple of scenes that I saw, I'm like, yeah, he seems disgusted by her. And she thinks that something happened off camera that made him feel that way. And I'm just thinking he just don't want her.
First of all, she has a face like this all the time.
Oh, okay.
She's always like this. It is not attractive to me. She's like, and I'm like,
okay.
So his claim, this is what he claims.
Okay.
This is what he claims. Okay, it really started when they had the people, the friends come over for like a margarita dinner. You get to meet the friends and something together. And her girlfriend said, give us 5 words to, what she is. Give us 5 words about her. His first word was aggressive. Now, he knows better than to call a black woman aggressive.
Is she aggressive though?
Yes.
No.
I think so.
No.
Because I haven't seen it from her, but I only seen 2 episodes.
And supposedly, I mean, aggressive is not the right word, but supposedly when they first were on the honeymoon, whatever, he put her hand on his junk. And then ever since when they got back, she's been trying to have sex and trying to get and he's like, no.
That's
Because something
alleged.
turned.
Allegedly.
That's what he says. That's his alleged. That's what he says. Is she's too aggressive. He said, no, I want to get to know you better. And before we have sex, whatever, I don't even know you. So why are you all up in my trying to have sex all the time?
Because you're my husband.
Right.
But okay.
He is full. He is kind of full of shit.
That's the impression I got from him.
Kind of full of shit. He is full of shit. He ain't shit. Let me just say that.
Okay.
And I'll let you finish.
I think yeah, he's done some shitty things in terms of like I was disappointed in him. I was disappointed in him of how he handled the certain situations where he was like they had the whole dinner where all the couple they were not getting along. They had the whole couples and he shows up and with an attitude. He always has an attitude. Always has an attitude. You know, always like, you know, I don't feel comfortable in being around her. I don't want to be around her. She makes me feel uncomfortable. She makes me feel less than. She this, that, and the other. Now, I don't know how much we haven't seen off camera of how she's a very, very successful, independent Nigerian woman who has her a dope pad, you know, worked hard for everything, and now is willing to be in a marriage, wants a marriage, but now is willing to be in a marriage, you know, and, you know, focus on her partnership. Look.
What does she do for a living?
She
she
is
a
a
doctor?
nurse practitioner.
She's a what?
She's a nurse
And
practitioner.
an
She
esthetician.
has her own business. She works. She has her own clinic where she does
Botox.
She does Botox, rest like fillers. She does consultations. This is more like cosmetic surgery type of procedures, but it's her own practice. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
So his whole claim is I don't feel safe around her, you know.
Aggressive, saying you don't feel safe around somebody.
Yeah, well, I don't feel comfortable. But he's come with a lot of I'm trying to. I know Tanya's gonna take it to the extreme bullshit, but I don't like her attitude about a lot of things either. I don't like how I wouldn't, if I was him, the way she's presented certain things and the way she is, I wouldn't be attracted to her either.
Really?
I don't like.
Like I only seen the one scene where they are at the cake shop or something, and he was telling her he was going to homecoming, and she felt some kind of way because he didn't invite her, which I would have felt some kind of way too. That's a big event.
He didn't want to be with her.
But I was just the impression from her, just from the little interaction that I've seen, she seemed like she's trying to be very accommodating to him.
Yes, I think she wanted a marriage. I don't think she necessarily wanted a marriage from him, but she wants someone to be married to her. That's the way I look at it. I think she wants someone to be married to her, and she was going to try in this relationship, but she either did something or he did not have a good reaction, and he has been shut down and an asshole ever since.
So when did the shutdown start? It started.
I'll tell you when. I'll tell you exactly when that shit started.
Okay.
You done, Christopher? Because I'm
and one more thing. I didn't like her friends. I didn't like.
Let you finish.
Because I know she's gonna take it to. I'm just trying to give him. He fucked up, but I didn't like her friends either. Her friends grilling him and his friends' attitude about him either. But he has turned out to be an asshole. But go ahead, Tanya. Go ahead.
Okay.
I never in my life thought that I could despise someone more than I despise Chris Williams. not our beloved Chris Williams, but Chris Williams that did Paige dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Williams, it was just a aesthetic thing for him. It was just he just wasn't
didn't
into
like
her.
her looks.
He didn't like her looks. He would fuck her, but he wasn't into her looks. Out of, like he said, out of all the women of Atlanta, this is what you gave me. But now let's get back to.
I could have fucked her, by the way. If he fucked her, then he's a complete piece of shit. But he could have fucked her, and he didn't. So that's the only saving grace that I can give him.
He must not be attracted. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. Men will do it anyway. So.
Ikechi is a fucking fraud.
What's his name?
Ikechi.
Ikechi. They call him Ike.
Yeah, they call him Ike, but it's Ikechi. It's Ikechi. It's Ikechi is how you pronounce it. Ikechi is a fucking fraud, and Lifetime and the Married at First Sight franchise should fucking sue the fucking beanie hats off of his bald ass head. When they got married, he showed up at the wedding. I was like, there's just something fake about this dude. Like he could have married the man on the moon, and he would have had that whole wedding the same way with the piano playing guy, and then he had this whole poem and song written out that he had him sing. I just was like, whatever. He was into her at the wedding. He thought he scored at the wedding. I got this woman, and she was like talking to his friends. They were loving on her because she's like, I want my husband, and he's, my man of God, and this, that, and the other. She never ever put out there what she did or what she was about. Mm-hmm. She was all about him. He was all for it. They went on the honeymoon. I saw the episode where they were kind of touchy-feely on each other, and he kind of grabbed her hand and put it on his little weenie. And then after that,
so Chris, you said that
he put her hand on him.
But I thought okay, so I misunderstood.
They were in the
and truck. And that's when she spurred her on to like let's go. And then he's like, no.
You grabbed the woman's hand and put it on your junk, and then was like, no. Why'd he do that?
After the fact. Yes.
So of course, you guys are touchy-feely with each other on the shuttle van from the airport to the hotel or wherever the hell y'all were going on the honeymoon, and you put her hand on your Johnson.
How did you do that?
And then you get to the hotel, and then you feel some sort of way because now you've given this woman the vibe that I'm feeling you, like, okay, what's about to go down? We're in some nice Caribbean holiday, and it's about to go down. And now she's kind of like, I will admit that yes, she was kind of feeling him, and she was ready to go. When they were laying in bed, she was kind of like, trying to spoon him and get all up on him, and he kind of was like, oh, wait a minute, my mother's gonna see this. Look at here. You a grown-ass man. And this is not your first time trying out for Married at First Sight. This is your trying out for Married at First Sight. This wasn't his
first time, right?
He tried out for the Houston, because he was living in Houston. He tried out for the Houston, and he didn't make the cut, and then moved to Chicago for work or whatever, and then tried out for Chicago and got on the Chicago. So, sir, don't worry about what your mama is going to say, because this is your second foray in this. But whatever, I digress. This is where things went south. He was all for it, and he was kind of, yes, I'll agree. He was a little standoffish because she was a little grab-assy on the honeymoon, and he was like,
He started it, though.
Exactly. Where it went to the left was when they got back.
Yes.
And she went, they all go to see each other's houses before they move in. She went to his apartment, and he kept flapping. He had a regular old ass apartment. There was nothing wrong with the apartment. And he kept, he kept talking. He kept stressing, my little meager existence. Bro, you got self-esteem issues. You got, what's the word? what's the word?
Insecurities.
He's got insecurities of his own, right? And he's over there, and she's just sitting there. She never once, she didn't pull a Michelle and dog ass on his apartment. She was just like, "Oh, this is nice, whatever. It is what it is." And she's like, "Oh, you like to play instruments or whatever?" Because he had like a keyboard, he had a guitar. He's like, "Well, play something for me," and he played a little something for her, whatever. She never once showed any type of body language or facial expressions of ugh, like, oh no.
Or like, you're beneath me.
Right. None of that. Then they went to her place. She is living in a 2-story house, condo that she owns, overlooking the skyline of Chicago. Her walls are glass. Her whole place was fucking incredible, immaculate, city living, fucking times 10. And he walked in, and you could just tell as soon as he walked, she's like, "Welcome to my house." She was not trying to be braggadocious about, "Look at what I got." You know, like some people are, some women are like, "I don't need you. I got this. I got that." She was just like, "This is where I live." And his whole demeanor changed the moment he stepped foot in her house. He was like, "Wow." And that's when the insecurity started popping. He's like, "Wow."
But wasn't he a little insecure when she was at his place? Because
That's right. And it went to a whole nother level when he saw how she was living. And he was like, "Oh, well, my meager existence couldn't even that." And then he was even nitpicking the whole in her kitchen. And she had like this air fryer, which was fucking heller, which I kind of wanted. I want for myself, but I'm not paying the money because I don't like air fryers. But I just wanted it for the aesthetic. And he was just like, "Oh, wow, that's like next level. Like that's next level air fryer, kind of thing." And she's just like, "Whatever, it is what it is." Like
that was his air fryer at the apartment.
Yeah, but that was a basic air fryer. Her air fryer at her apartment was friggin' next level. That was some chef's kiss shit. So anyway, she had like a karaoke machine in her living room. But not only did she have the karaoke machine with the microphone and the whole night, she had the lighting to go with it. So when she has her friends over, he's like, "Wow, that's a little bit much." Like he was basically getting on her. Like he's like, "Wow, that's a little bit much. Like you even got the lighting. That's so extra." And she's like, "Well, yeah." She's like, "When my friends come over and
we're having a good time.
She's like, "We're having a good time. Why not have the lighting that goes with it?" He was shooketh by how she was living. I think that the moment he saw how she was living, the moment he realized what she did for a living, because even he went to her place of business and he just sat there while she had a patient that I'm assuming she had to get, sign off for the patient to be like, "Okay, I'll let you, give me some treatments on camera." He just was sitting there like, It was at
what does he do?
He's a teacher. Nothing wrong with that. It's a career. Bro, you got a career.
It's a very good career. Be happy that you got
he was shooketh at what there was nothing he could bring to the table for her other than being her husband.
So the penis wasn't enough either? Because he put his hand.
Obviously it wasn't. Okay. There was nothing that he could do. And he took every moment, every episode after that, he was making it a point to humble her. That's what I was getting from it. As a Black woman, as a professional woman that got my own, I was like, this man is doing whatever he can to humble her. And I kept seeing with each episode, I kept looking at her and it was breaking my heart because she kept looking. She had that look on her face like, is it me?
Let me look what this woman looks like. Because Chris is killing me.
No, and Chris, like her facial expressions aren't the most, aesthetically pleasing.
I think there must have been something. I agree with you, Tanya, on an insecurity or something, but I feel like we're not seeing something to make him.
No,
there must have been something that she did or something to make him. Because why wouldn't you want to take advantage of all that she's giving and all that she wants to give?
So that's not a bad picture. She was very nice there.
She's a pretty girl, but she does this thing all the time, like
Well,
this.
he had reason to do that because he was finding every reason.
No, but
to
she does that
make
in
her
general.
feel
Not
he
even
was-
when he's not even not there. She does that. I don't like that look. I don't like
What's
her.
her name?
MM.
MM.
EMEM.
Let's see
But
if I can.
he literally was doing the most to break her down, to make it seem like it was all her. And I agree with you, Chris. I don't think there's anything that happened behind the scenes, because if there was, by now,
He
that
would've
would have aired. They would have pulled
Not something major. Not something major, but I think she may have the way something made him turn totally off.
Yeah,
He
her
turned
success.
totally off, and then he became kind of an asshole. He became. I was like even when they went to the retreat, and he wasn't even like kind of invited, and she was there, and all the couples were there. He shows up with divorce paper. It's a 4-page paper, and he shows up with one page. He goes, "Can you sign this?" And she's like, "Where are the other pages?" She's like, "I'll sign this. Where are the other pages?" And he just did it for show. Then he started being he's just an ass.
No,
He's
I
viewed as
forget.
an asshole.
That was just another example of him setting her up to be the angry black woman, because he did it on the 1 month anniversary where he showed up at the dinner.
Yeah.
He showed up all late. They had already eaten, mind you, and he shows up in his suit and sits down and proceeds to tell everybody, and they're like, why are you here? And he's like, oh, I just came for you guys. Like, he was just totally dismissive of her. And then
Yeah.
he took her there. Like, he was so ignorant that she finally was like, you know what? You're a clown. She went off on him. And it was like he purposely did that so that he could get a rise out of her. And the same thing with the retreat. He showed up with the one
Aggressive.
I just
Hold
wanted
it right
to play
there.
this
A little
clip
aggressive. Now see,
because that's
let
what
me
you
calm down
said.
while you take this one.
First of all, look, if you've been a black person for
Yeah, he
one
fucked
bit of your life, you
Said one
don't
kid.
call a black woman aggressive. It's
yeah,
just it's something you don't do.
No,
She has had to be initiative,
absolutely.
in her life to get where she is.
Mhm.
But the connotation of aggressive that he's giving
Right.
is not very good.
It's
period.
Okay, I just wanted to play that clip. I was trying to find something with that facial expression, but continue, Tanya.
I gotta
So
find that.
it was like he went out of his way to set her up, to show her ass. And I love the fact that when he showed up at the getaway, mind you, you're going to drive maybe an hour and a half outside of town to show up on the retreat with a stupid little manila folder, and you don't acknowledge anybody. Oh, can I talk to you for a minute? And then you're just like, I just need you to sign this. And she's like, let me look at it. Being the true professional that she is, she's like,
It's not gonna hand nobody
she's like,
something.
this is one page. And he's like, yes, I just need you to sign the divorce paper. She's like, there ain't no damn way. Now, mind you, I'm divorced. I already know. You're divorced. You already know. Divorce papers aren't one page long. And she's just like, I love the professionalism. She's like, she basically told him, oh, I'd be willing to sign it.
I'm not getting it yet.
That's a tame version, but she always has a stink face.
She,
That's her normal thing.
Well, maybe he has a stink face because he has a stink attitude.
that's right.
That's not just to him. She just in general has that. Anyway, I'll find
No,
it.
she has a look on her face like when somebody's talking something serious to her. She always looks like she's heavily in thought. Like she's like,
And that something stinks.
like she's thinking about it, or she's pondering and thinking about it. Whatever. When he showed up with that one page, I love the fact that she didn't lose her shit. She was just like, I have no problem with signing this divorce paper, because she made it very clear she was done just as much as he was. So, sir, what you ain't gonna do is show up and try to make it seem like I want to be in this marriage when I really don't.
Can you see that? And then always has a nasty look on her face. Not attractive at all.
Yeah, and yeah, whatever, Jennifer. We're not talking to you. But she was like, I'm not signing one page. She's like, when you bring me proper legal documentation,
Yeah.
I'll sign it. And then she's like, but I'll keep this. And she said, she basically shoot him like, nigga, please. That's what she wanted to say. And because that's what I was screaming at the goddamn TV, because I wanted to break my TV off. And he just, what did he do? He turned around and sauntered off again. He did that to set her up to show so that she could kind of like be aggressive, as he claims that she is. But here's one thing I have a problem with.
He always has this attitude. That's his attitude the whole time.
Yep. And
Yeah.
he was
The
rude,
whole time, just stank.
rude, dismissive.
Just stank.
Just the 2 episodes I saw, he was just miserable and dismissive, and he really didn't want to look at her, talk to. It was like just 2 episodes.
He didn't want to answer questions. That was his thing. That was his biggest thing. When I say something, her face is fine there. Stop pulling up pictures of before I lose my shit. You want to see aggressive? I'll show you aggressive. At KG. I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, what I didn't like is if something happened in the background, by now, especially next week being the decision show, by now they should have pulled the footage, because they sure didn't have a problem. Let me finish. They sure didn't have a problem with pulling.
I'm not saying it was something specific.
They didn't have a problem with pulling the footage of David.
I'm not saying she did something specifically to him. I'm saying there must have been, in the conversations that they were having, something that he had reactions to.
He didn't like to be questioned. That was his problem. They would have a discussion. So let's say this is the thing. He would say something, right? And then she would like question him on it. Like, she started questioning him about the future. Like, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on that? And he would give these stupid one-word answers. And then she would follow it up with another question, because she was trying to dig deeper. And he's like, I already answered that. Why do you keep poking the bear? And then he'd be ignorant about it. You keep poking the bear, then I'm not going to want to be around you. And I'm going to leave. You want to leave.
The question,
that's aggressive.
Whatever, but he did give some answers that she didn't like or wanted more information for. And he automatically would shut down after answering the question. He would not elaborate, and she kept asking him to elaborate, and he didn't want to elaborate anymore.
Because he was a bitch ass. That's why. Because when you married, the follow-up questions that she would ask him wasn't nothing major. She wasn't asking him about his finances. She wasn't asking him. She wasn't trying to like poke on things that most people would get defensive about, like your finances, how you living, your family, this, that, and the other thing. She was asking, like, he would start something and then she would just continue it and like follow through with another question, and he didn't like it, and he would just shut down completely.
Like trying to get to know somebody, you always have like a follow-up question.
I'm your fucking wife. You're my fucking husband. We have to have these types of discussions, because guess what? We're not, we're on a timeline here. We've got like 8 weeks. So now we're in a condensed version, sir, which you should know since you've already applied to the Houston Married at First Sight. This is your second chance at the rodeo. So why are we having this discussion? What I don't like is how Dr. Pia and the experts coddled his ass. They didn't have a problem with getting in Madison and David last night or Tuesday. They had their asses on the couch, and they had no problem with pulling the rug out from underneath them. And Dr. What's her face there? Pia was like, oh, let's just call it what it is. You're a liar. But to David, but she sat there and coddled
I know who did it.
Casey. Her and Pastor Cal.
I don't think they coddled him.
Ass.
I don't think they coddled him. I don't think they
Yes,
coddled.
they did.
This
They
is
did.
her. This is her. See that stank? She looks like she always something smells bad.
No, but that was the latest episode when she read his ass for filth.
But
If
she always
you
has
watch
that look.
anything, Shahidah, watch the latest episode that aired
I will.
and see how she read it. And she basically turned it on the professionals. She turned that shit back on Pia, Peppa, and Cal because she said, she was like, I'm gonna give you the pay. She looked at EKG and she's like, I'm gonna give you the proper paperwork on how to
Yeah, but that was beneath her. If she really wanted to be classy, she wouldn't have done that. That was some stupid petty shit that she was saying. Oh, here's some numbers for some counselors that you should see. And they called her and I'm like, she's like, that was petty. She's like, well, he needs to have some. I was like,
he did.
he already hung himself though. He had already hung himself. There is no reason. There is no reason for her to.
I loved it.
She was like, this time it was petty. It was stupid. She looked worse. She looked worse for that than he did. She looked worse for that than he did. And I know counselors. I get free counseling if you want so and so. And he's just like, I'm whatever. Just let him hang himself and be classy about it. He was not classy about it at all at the end. Not classy about it. Her feelings were hurt. She was butthurt because he didn't want her. He didn't want to be with her. Her feelings got butthurt, and you can see at the end, after everything was done, after they had already started to be divorced, then she got petty and was like, well, this, that, and the other. She didn't need to do any of that kind of stuff.
I don't agree with you. Agree with you on that.
Let's move on to the next one.
No, we're not going to move on because I got something to say. Because you
talked about it, Kitchi and Emma for how long? We've been doing it for fucking 45 minutes.
Her breaking point, because this whole entire series, she's had to sit there and had to endure.
She already called him a clown. She already called him out. He's already hung himself. He did not need to keep on going with that.
Pia would look at her and say, why did you
petty? Even Dr. Pia said, that was petty. You know that, right? And she's like, well, she needs to be that way, so it doesn't make it.
That's right. He deserved every bit of that read that she gave his ass. And the fact when Pia said, when he left, he was shook. Most of the times, he couldn't wait to get up and leave. When she read him,
she was beneath herself. It was beneath her to do that. If she wanted to be classy, he had already hung himself. He already looks like a clown and like an idiot. She didn't need to say all that extra shit. And when Dr. Peter says, you didn't need to say that, right? And she's like, well, I need to say it anyway.
Oh, no. Wait a minute.
Can we move on to the other two big couples?
One thing.
Here is the shade. When Pia said to her, you didn't have to be that petty. And she's like, somebody had to say it. She looked them, all three of them, dead ass in their face. She's like, somebody had to say it. And she looked at them and was like, I get paid to give consults. I'm giving this out for free. And I was like,
and that's some petty bullshit.
So.
He already hung himself. He
deserved every bit of that.
He already looked like a fool.
Go ahead, Shahidah. All right.
I'm gonna watch it. But from the little that I have seen of him, if that's the worst that she can do, I don't think it's that petty.
That's right.
Because I feel like I would have wanted to say something after somebody treated me like
she's already said it. Even the plenty. He already hung himself. He had already looked like an asshole. Everyone thinks the same way of him.
She didn't have to take the high road every time.
She didn't take the high road every time. But that last. Can we move on to something else, or we can keep on going? Rehash over and over and over again. I didn't think it was necessary. That's all I'm saying. I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it looked beneath her. If she was going to be a classy woman and rise above, because he already looked like an asshole. She didn't need to fucking do that. Dr. P called around on it, but she did it anyway. If she's justified, yes, she's justified doing it.
She's being an asshole by even saying that. Was she counteracting by saying anything the way he talked to her?
But she didn't need to say it. He had already looked like an asshole. she'd already won. She already won.
Maybe
Anyway,
say it, but maybe she
right. That's
and
what I'm saying.
it.
It
Good
makes
for her.
her look lesser than.
Good for her.
By her saying it. It's fine.
All right, next one.
Oh, next is the fuckery. The fucking swap mates.
Okay.
Michelle and David and Madison and Alan.
So Alan is a really, really, really dedicated, nice Chicago guy. He's not attractive. He's just a regular kind of goofy, weird dude that took.
Okay. Let me try and find him. Go ahead. What's he look?
That took she knew from the beginning that she was not attracted to him.
Yeah.
From the beginning, he spent $3,000 on wardrobe. He was going to the gym. He was placating her. He was doing everything in his possible control to try to please this woman. And she kind of was like, oh, yeah. And it was nice to him. And he's like, I really care. He said his feelings with her. I really care about you. I really like you. You have a piece of my heart. You know, a man who is married and willing to do what is necessary to dedicate himself to his wife, even if she's not attractive. Alan and Madison.
Alan? Oh, he's not bad looking.
He's just a regular guy. I mean, he doesn't work out. He was wearing weird shit like green sunglasses and weird. He has a fur coat. But he took all of that shit, all of his personality aside, and for her, started. Yeah. Oh, he looks good there.
Yeah.
You know, his teeth are fucked up. He even got Invisalign for her. He started working at the gym. He started doing all kinds of stuff. He got Invisalign. He got $3,000. She took him shopping. She goes, you look good in that. He's like, okay, if that's what I need to do for my wife. He did everything possibly. He called her beautiful. He called her gorgeous. He complimented her. He did everything possible that you're supposed to do when you are married to someone in this situation. And she was like, well, you know, okay, well, but she she led him on a little bit more, even though you could tell she was not attracted to him in the beginning. And all the meantime, she's working out with fucking David, with the fucking man bun David, who lives in his parents' basement. And his wife, Michelle, who I don't like. I don't like Michelle. I don't like her fucking stank attitude from the beginning. She didn't give him any kind of love, any kind of chance whatsoever. Right. And he was like, you know, trying to be, he was trying to be more, he was trying to get stuff out of her, but Michelle had shut him down. So in the meantime, while Alan and them are trying to work it out, Madison and David are working out together because they both go to the gym.
Right?
Right. So you saw the fuckery when Michelle's. First of all, I don't like Michelle. She was stank from the very, very beginning, was just stank, not giving any rhythm. Going, you live in your fucking basement, your parents' basement. Didn't look at anything or what kind of person he was, but now we know what kind of fucking person he was. So maybe she was onto something. But you know, he kept all this. I'm a nice guy. I really want to make this marriage work. And she shut him down from the beginning. And he's got his feelings and his butt feelings hurt. And then he started hanging out with Madison. And then he came. First of all, when he sent a text to her
I saw that episode.
By saying, you know, I want to eat you up. Why wouldn't you just double down and say, yeah, I sent it to you because I thought maybe I could spark something with you. At least that's smart if you're going to at least own up to it. Like, I don't know, I just sent it to you because I do think you're an attractive woman and I do want to eat you up. But the fucking lie, he's a dumb motherfucker.
Yes.
He's dumb.
Agree.
Dumb, stupid, to double down on a bad lie, on a horrible.
That text was his way out. That he could have easily spun that when she said to him, because I'm with you, Chris. I'm not a fan of Michelle's. I thought she was just rude to him. I thought she was very judgy of him. I thought she was very condescending with him. And I was like, how much longer is this going to be allowed to go on? Right. And when she brought up the text, I was like, this is your out. Because for me, I'm not even thinking about, see, I'm that petty bitch. See, I wasn't even thinking of, he could have just said, I was hoping to send that was meant for you to, start something. I would have been like, here's your out, David, to say to her, I'm not getting nothing from you, boo. So I'm out. I'm gonna go over there and talk to other women.
Anything would have been better than what he did.
Yeah, but when he said the cousin sent him a plate of food, and I'm like, no, that's like creepy. Like, that's so sexy. I can't wait to eat you. And I'm like,
who was he working out with?
Madison.
That was for Madison.
Oh,
it finally came out at the retreat.
At the retreat,
because Michelle wouldn't let that shit go. Michelle was like, Inspector fucking.
She's like, I know there's something weird. I know there's something weird, because they would go out, and him, Carla, and Madison went out after she went home one time, and she lost his phone, and they went away for 25 minutes on their own.
Yeah.
And she was like, her intuition was going, it doesn't add up. He's lying up. And she kept saying, so David, what do you say about the thing? Oh, well, and she calls the cousin. She called the cousin, and the cousin was like, I'm not going to lie for a man, it's girl code. Look, there's no fucking picture. And then she confronts David with it, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
I said what I said. And I'm like, he could have owned up to it then, never owned up to it. And then at the fucking retreat, when they come back, she confronts him again. And he's like, whatever, this, that, and the other. And it turns out it was the fucking, he probably texted Madison. He texted Madison and Michelle instead of Madison by mistake, because they're both M's in his thing.
Yeah.
And he fucked up. And then Madison says, oh, I have feelings for you too. And didn't even have the respect to fucking tell Alan.
Well, okay, so here's what happened. Michelle wouldn't let the shit go. When I say I respect Michelle's hustle on that one.
Yes.
They went to the retreat, and Michelle just wasn't letting it
So
go.
she knew that it was somebody in the group?
She had a feeling.
Okay.
Like,
then she's trying to put stuff together like, well, maybe it is.
She was like, she was like, she was talking to the girls, and then she's like, I just have a feeling that it's Madison, because they work out all the time, and they go out and this, that, and the other. And then it was a faint thought. It was a faint thought that could have been a possibility, but like, probably not, but something, maybe it could be something kind of like that. And she took a shot in the dark, and she was fucking right. And she asked Madison. She went to Madison and had a discussion with Madison at the retreat and was like, I thought that was for you. She's like, do you think that could have been for you, Madison? And she's like, I don't think so. And Michelle took it like,
every now and then.
I don't think so. Where Michelle was like, if that really wasn't you, wasn't for you, or you don't think that my husband likes you, you should have been like, oh my God, no, whatever. You're ridiculous.
She was like, well, that shouldn't have been for me.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been.
She was like, she was like, do you guys have each other's number? And she's like, well, yeah. And she's like, well, can I, and Madison put it out there. She's like, you want to see my phone?
Had the audacity.
Michelle went and got her phone, and Madison pulled up her phone to look at her text. But I think there were no texts from David. That was already deleted.
Erased them.
But what she did is she plugged in David, and a bunch of other texts came up regarding, but I think she was texting her girlfriends about David, and Michelle caught that real quick before Madison could swipe that away. And
she's like, well, I thought you guys text about the gym every now and then, so you would have something on the, and she's like, no, I don't have anything. And I'm like, you dumb bitch. So why would you bring your phone down if you...
Right. So then she goes and has a conversation with Alan. Her and Alan are in the kitchen, and she's like, I just have this feeling.
Oh, that was tough.
Like, I don't think so. Alan's trying not to. He's like, no.
He loves that woman. He loves that woman.
That's going on. One of the producers goes into the Madison's room after Madison has a conversation with Michelle. one of the producers follows Madison in the room and says to her, "Is there any truth to this?" And all you're doing is hearing it now, because you don't see them. All you see is the producer go in the room and the door shut, and you just hear it. And the producer's like, "Is there any truth to this? What's going on?" And Madison's like, I do like him.
I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
It wasn't my intention to hurt anybody's feelings. And then that's when the shit hit the fan. So now, Michelle's having this conversation with Alan. Then Madison goes and has a conversation with David. Madison had no clue that "I want to eat you" text was for her. Madison sits David down and tells David that she has feelings for him. She likes him. And then he in turn tells her, "I like you too." And they're going back and forth. And he's like, "Well, just so now that we're on the same page, just so you know, that text was meant for you." And she's like, "What?" So then she's like, "Well, I got to talk to Alan." And he's like, "Do you want me to talk to Alan?" So she basically let fucking David fall on the sword.
Can you hold it 1 second?
Oh, yeah, hold it.
I do got a clip.
Show that clip. Show that clip.
Because I was a little stunned.
Show that clip.
Wait. I've been sharing all this time and now I can't share. Okay, here we go. I hope it starts at the beginning. Oh, you can't.
Man.
Oh, wait a minute. I know I can get it where I can get the sound. I'm sorry.
You said connection. You see something going on with medicine
hear
where
it?
you can actually find that as your...
Yes, I'll be 100 with you.
Go for it, brother.
No.
I'm done.
Oh man, I felt for Alan, man. I still feel bad.
Does he want a conversation? Okay, yeah, no.
Wait. I'm going to try it again because I didn't get the beginning.
Just say it.
That me and Madison have a connection that you and her don't have, and I don't have on my wife.
Number one, I saw you as a friend.
Oh, man.
You.
Okay. All right.
Number two, she bull me. She played me.
She did not, bro.
No, her.
Yes, she did.
You can say me.
No, her. Every day. Do you know? Every
Alan was trying, bro.
I don't give a every day.
She was trying.
Every day. This is something that I saw, and I asked. I struggled. I tried to.
Yep.
Ditto. But that's why we got so close. And how do you think it makes me feel right now telling you this, bro? We were in the same position. It wasn't on purpose. No one. We're friends. It's platonic. We talk. She knows more about me than my wife, bro.
So
because she asks questions.
You said connection. You see something going on with medicine where you can actually find that as your...
Yes, I'll be 100 with you.
Go for it, brother. I'm done.
He has no compassion, that motherfucker. David is a piece of shit.
None.
That motherfucker is a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And she's a fucking coward and a fucking bitch. She didn't even tell. She's strung that motherfucker on. He's like, I just spent $3,000 on clothes. I did all that stuff for you. Everything for you.
The worst part about it is that from the rip, he was honest with her and he said to her, this is what hurt me the most in this, is he said to her, if you're not feeling me, just let me know. I'll understand. Like, if, we're in this process. It's an unconventional type of situation. If you can't see yourself being married to me, or if you don't find me attractive, just let me know. This man was, while she was going out and partying with her friends or David until 3 a.m, he wouldn't sleep in the bed. He would sleep on the couch and wait up for her.
He got Invisalign. He got Invisalign to change his teeth for her.
And pay $3.
He's like, I never had a problem with my teeth before.
Wait. How long were they together? He did a lot in 8 weeks.
Yes. Everything he could. And she was like,
hurt.
Well, I like you, David. And the only thing he did fuck up, he did DUI, which was not good. But He shouldn't have driven when he was drunk.
Yeah.
That's some
Yeah,
Chicago shit. But she just dragged him on the whole. She should have been like, look.
And David's a piece of shit for trying to pull the card of, you know, we were both in the same situation.
Right.
No, you weren't, because at least Alan was trying with Madison. And Madison was, I thought Madison and him were kind of getting along. They were doing things together. They were like, you know, cordial with each other. They were cohabitating. Unlike Michelle, that was just disgusted by David. David had an easy out with Michelle. He should have told her after the third or fourth time that she was dissing him. He should have been like, in front of the experts, he should have been like, fuck this bitch. Right. I want out. I'm moving on.
And the two of them still don't have remorse about it.
None.
Still, David or fucking Madison don't have remorse about it at all.
Happy they together. That's why.
Well, here's the thing. I think that Madison, I don't know if Madison doesn't have any remorse. I think Madison is trying to save face because now she's shown her ass on national television. So she's got to fucking, you know, get her reputation, salvage her reputation. David, no. When they sat down with the experts, he was just like, well, whatever, you can think whatever you want to think. It is what it is. And he basically he bent the knee for Madison and was like, I like you. I have strong feelings for you. I want to be with you. I want to see where this goes. I can potentially see you as being my wife. And you see how she shut that down real quick. She was like, well, I don't know. I just want to, you know, let's start off as friends.
And they asked her, would you marry someone she's like, I'm used to dating white people. So, you know, I've viewed it.
That's right.
Like, would you be open to dating someone of another race? And she was like, you know, I kind of, you know, maybe. But she's like, well, we don't want, what's her name? Pepper was like, well, we don't want to mess with that. So let's just find you a nice white guy.
Well, because Pepper said to her, Doctor, I commend Dr. Pepper on that. Dr. Pepper pulled her card and was like,
okay, I got another clip.
Play the clip.
And Madison's heated confrontation in the bathroom, with Madison telling Michelle that she does have feelings for David.
I like David. Okay.
And I like her.
Got it. I don't need you in it.
Who's that?
I didn't know that text message was meant for. I didn't.
It's Madison and Michelle.
I'm telling you
that's
that.
Michelle.
She had no clue because I deleted it.
I thought it was the expert.
Michelle walked off and went to talk with Camille and Emma.
That's something. Yeah. So anyway, when they met with the experts, Dr. Pepper said to her, I'm surprised that you have feelings for David because you were specific when we were doing the matching interviews. You were specific that you didn't want a person of color or a black guy. You wanted a Caucasian, a white person. And they played the clip. And they were like, and Madison had to like clean it up. Madison in the clip was like, because Madison said, I've dated black guys before. And my face would have been like, oh, you just want to fuck them, but you don't want to marry them. That's what I would have said to her if I was the expert. And so she was like, in the interview, she told Pepper that, well, because it's, you know, married at first sight, if I'm getting married, I want to be with someone that I'm comfortable with, and that, you know, would be a Caucasian guy. So that's why Pepper was like, I'm surprised that, you know, you like him.
Just dirty.
Was he there when she said that?
Yeah, he was sitting right there, and he didn't even bat an eye.
Well, he's stupid anyway.
Yeah, he's ignorant. So I think that when he put all his feelings out there for her in front of the experts, and she was just like, you know, she basically kind of, in so many words, was like, I want to take a beat, and I got to figure shit out on my end, and let's see how this friendship is, basically. And I think he was kind of hurt by that, but fuck off. What the fuck? And because they asked them, they were like, it was kind of like a rebound thing. Like, you both were in these marriages that, you know, you both couldn't see yourself with the other person. And you guys had this like bond with each other in the gym or whatever. And don't you think that's a little bit kind of quick. Like you guys just gonna just jump from this to that. I don't know. I don't see it working. I
don't think it's gonna work either.
I think the only thing them two have in common is that both of them like to drink a lot, and they like to party, and they like to go
work out together.
and work out. That's it.
He's just grimy. He's just grimy. Yeah. He's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Was he grimy before this though? Or because I thought
he acted like he was a good guy. He acted like this, that, and the other. But you could tell something was like, he was like, "Oh no, I'm a great guy." I mean, his feelings were butthurt that his wife didn't want him. Yes, he did try hard, but even like on their 1 month anniversary, whatever dinner, he shows up in a sweatshirt or whatever, and she's like,
but he was working, and he showed up. Because at first he said he wasn't going to go, and because he had to work, and he snuck away from work to show up for a little bit for the dinner.
He knew he was going to have in one of your anniversary dinner. You bring a shirt in the car with you.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree, but I gave him some grace in the fact that he showed up. He made the effort, especially when this woman especially when you got a woman that basically can't stand.
I still don't like Michelle.
He showed up.
Is she okay dating a black person?
Who?
Michelle.
No, Michelle.
Not Madison. Michelle.
We don't even talk about Michelle. What she wants. She's just a stank. I don't like her.
Michelle, like H.E. Michelle's whole disposition changed on the wedding day when the two of them sat down and had a conversation about each other. And he told her the first strike for him was when he said he smoked. He's a social smoker. Like I go out and I have drinks or whatever. I'll occasionally smoke a cigarette, but I won't. And then she was kind of like put off on that. And he's like, but I won't smoke. And he didn't. He stopped smoking. Like he went cold turkey. And as a former smoker, that when you go cold turkey, that's hardcore. So I was like, I gave him mad props for that. Like he was like, she don't like smoking, I'm gonna stop smoking. Then they were talking about, she was telling him about how she came from a shitty background, growing up, poor backgrounds, humble beginnings. And she kind of worked her way up to get this lifestyle that she's, get her career and her little apartment and the whole nine and whatever. And she asked him about his living conditions, and he's like, well, I'm trying to save some money, so I'm living with my parents. So she was like, that was it for her. When he told her he was living in the basement of his parents' house, she couldn't hear nothing else. Like he's like, I'm just saving money, and hopefully I'm trying to, I figured I'll just save money, and then when I find my wife, we're going to buy a house together. She wasn't hearing nothing else with the fact that he lived in his parents' basement. That was it.
What does he do?
I don't know exactly what he does. I think he works at like a club or a bar or something, because he works at night. And I don't know if he's a bouncer or I don't know what he does, to be honest with you.
They don't ever really get into it.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, when he said he lived in his parents' basement, I too was like Michelle, like, oh God, married at first sight experts. Where are you finding these people? Like that should be a prerequisite from here on in. Like you have to have a solid fucking career or a solid job, and you have to have a solid living accommodations. Like you have to have your own apartment. You don't have to own a house or nothing like that, but you got to live on your own. You can't be, no. It's bad enough you're starting on a new marriage with a stranger, and then you're bringing in the fact that you ain't got no proper housing. But I respected the fact when he said, I'm living I had an apartment, and I decided to save money, move back into the basement of my parents' house. I'm living there. I got a lot of space, and I figured I would just stockpile money so that when
he's not trying to bring her there.
I could think.
Is he?
Well, I don't know.
So that was two couples in one.
Yeah. So now the next week is decision day, and you only got 2 couples to choose from. You've got Juan and Carla, who we know they're both going to say no. I think both of them are going to say no. And I'm hoping that Camille and what's his name?
Thomas.
And I hope they say yes. I really like them.
But it was good grimy. Like all the stuff that went down, there was a lot of like fuckery. There's a lot.
All I'll say is this: fuck the rest of the episodes that you ain't watched. Watch
I'm
the
not gonna worry
last
about
2.
them.
Watch the last 2. The episode from this past Tuesday and last Tuesday, because it starts off last Tuesday at the retreat and it ends.
Okay, yeah, I think yes. I think that I got lies, and then there's 2 others, something like that. All right,
it's crazy. On a side note, before we end, I miss and love you guys. And secondly, what the hell? We'll talk about this next time. What the hell in the unseasoned Love is Blind Minnesota?
Oh yeah.
Who the hell thought it was a good idea to have?
I haven't started that either.
Minnesota. When I tell you, I thought it was me. But
Love is boring. I called it.
Everybody was falling asleep on damn Love is Blind. The first 2 episodes.
Love is boring.
2 hours to watch the first episode because I was like, where is this fucking going?
Oh damn.
Snooze fest.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna watch it then. I was watching, what is it? Muslim Matchmaker on Hulu.
I saw the previews to that. Is it good?
I just did the first episode and it was good. Those ladies
are they only matching Muslims or are they matching everybody?
I think it's just Muslims. Like, you know, I mean, there was a couple of African Americans in there. I was like, good, you got us represented, and then the rest were just kind of like Desi and, you know, Middle Eastern or whatever. But they're all in California.
Ooh.
So I'm sure there's probably going to be some fuckery with that one because California. Come on.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, that was one of the
great episode. Till next time.